Hey, thanks for coming back, and if it's your first time here, hey, thanks for visiting, and you see that I have absolutely nothing on here right now. I will in a second. This is just a little bit of an update on a few things and how they kind of alter the score that I originally gave these figures. So we're going to take a look at Blurr. We're going to take a look at the Titans Return Blurr, I should say. We're going to take a look at the Transformers Legends class Gnaw and the Fall of Cybertron Generations Deluxe class Jazz, and some custom paint apps that I did that affect their score in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. I thank you for giving me some of your time, and what else can I say? Like, comment, subscribe, share, check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, and me everywhere. And I am still working very hard, plugging through to finish the season finale of Universal Collision. Let's start things off with my latest, and what's definitely going to be my last, I promise, my last cup date. See what I did there? I gave an update on the Titans Return Cup a little while ago, and some custom paint work I did on him. That was after doing the initial review, in which I already had some apps done there too. I went ahead, I did his thighs. Let me back this up just a little bit. Not his thighs, his shins. I went ahead and I done his shins. I had talked about whether or not I would bother to do that. I did. You know, Cup overall had a 9 to a 9.5 with his custom paint apps. I had said that without them, just straight out of the package, he was about a 5. I still think he's about a 9, 9.5. Doing his shins and his kneecaps. His kneecaps had yellow on them. I painted that gray. I made his shins that same sort of dark teal color, and his feet. It really doesn't improve him any more than what I had done in the last update. It's just, I wanted to show it. Maybe you think it does improve him a little bit. Maybe he's a 9.75 now. The fact is, the head is still a little bit off, though I've grown fond, if not at least accustomed to it, and the shoulders are still a little squared off, but you know, I really feel like that this could stand as my version of Cup. So yeah, 9.75. He's a good figure, even in a package. If you're not into customizing, he's fun. He really is. He's great. And you can see his full review back in episode 250. Next up is, and I'll take him back out of it. Next up is my now custom painted FOC Jazz to look more G1 accurate. I gave him black on the upper arms, black on the lower legs with gray in front, gray on his abdomen, red on that front bumper. I made his head black. Originally I wasn't going to paint him because I love the sheen of the blue, but over the years the blue had kind of rubbed off, so I didn't mind doing it. And I also made his visor a nice bright blue. I had given Jazz's paint originally an 8. I still like that he doesn't have the door wings, to be honest with you. But now I really feel like Jazz is a solid 9.5 for his paint apps. His overall score was about a 7.75. I think his overall score now would be about an 8.25 because, you know, the transformation still is what it is. The articulation still is what it is. But he's good. If you got the other one, I don't think you need to replace it or anything like that. But hey, if you got this guy and you want to give him more of a G1 motif, if you will, this is certainly one way to do it. I'm going to take a second, I'm going to put him in his alternate mode, and we'll see kind of what I did there and what sort of change that had as well. And here we have him in his alt mode. You can see I put black on the side window, and same over here. I put black over there as well. I forgot to mention that I also colored his hands black. And I put some black up on his, we'll call it his windshield, on that middle part. It's pretty minor in this one. I mean, he's still certainly Cybertronian mode. That's not going to change, but I kind of used a little bit of inspiration from the way he looked in the, you know, very first episode of the original series. And sort of drew from that at least a little bit. I like it. Like I said, I think it improves him tremendously. But of course, that's just me. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Was this a success or not? We're going to move on from him and do the next one, which is going to be Blurr. And now we come to the Titans Return version of Blurr. Now, I looked at this guy in full in episode 138, and I talked about how he was kind of a sea foamy green. And I know that a lot of people are big fans of the Japanese release of this guy, and I understand why completely. I really love that one. That thing is definitely a perfect 10. It has to be. But for my personal taste, I don't know if I liked as much of a stark contrast as he had. Still, to be fair, I did use that as a basis for doing my own custom paint job of this guy, and he was a major undertaking. More major of an undertaking than Cup was. Originally, I'd given his paint a 7. He had a total score of about an 8 to an 8.5. Honestly, with what I have done here, and I added kind of a mix of gray and white down on his, I guess, lower shins and feet. I made his entire legs more of a blue color, as well as his elbow sections here, the little detailing down on his arm, the detailing on his shoulder, and up around the very top tips of, I don't know, whatever these pylon things are on his shoulders. I added that same blue to his face, oh well, the sides of his head, I guess. And I added it back here and down right there. And on all the back of his legs as well. There was a lot of that color used. Then I took that same color and I mixed it with a very light metallic blue. And that came up with the shade that I used on the center crest of his forehead, or upper head, I guess, his pelvis, his upper arms, his lower arms, and I put yellow just above his head and up on the little crest piece that goes up and down. I also put the same gray and white mixture on his face and his fists. I think it helped him tremendously. I really feel like now this guy is again a good, you know what, he's 10. He's 10. With this sort of paint apps done and the mod that I did where he no longer has to be a Titan Master, I think the guy is the perfect incarnation of Blurr, you know, in the Generations line, in the main line stuff. I think he's absolutely fantastic. So I'll take a second now. I'll give you another kind of go around here. I didn't paint the whole canopy because I kind of liked the paint that was on it. I did also add an Autobot symbol down here and under the glass on his abdomen. I'll take a second, I'll put this guy in his alt mode and we can see how it worked out there as well. And here we have the new and improved Blurr. I still love the canopy being what it is. It does still stand out to me. But you can see how the rest of them came together. I think, I hope, nicely. And of course, like, he still rolls like a champ. Everything is the same as it was before, which is why I say that the only way scoring-wise that this guy could go is up, and he went from what was already a pretty great score of an 8 to 8.5 to, I honestly think now, this is the definitive version of this guy. I absolutely, positively love him. And that leaves us with one more to go. And that is the custom work that I did on Gnaw. And as much as I really actually liked the, I guess, out of package, even with the pink and whatnot, because they really threw me back to the, you know, original toy version. I gotta say, after some consultation with a few people, after they saw my initial touch-ups, a lot of people said, hey, why don't you just customize the whole guy? Now, that being said, this guy, Gnaw, I looked at in episode 265. And I said, okay, why not? Why not? The guy scored like a 9.25. I think he's a solid 9.75. Probably not quite perfect. I added a gloss gray up on his upper arms. I added, a lot of people use chrome. I use silver for his teeth on the bottom here, and as you'll see on the top, I added purple down on his lower lip, and of course I have the red squares there and the green underneath. I have the green way down on his belly. That was challenging to do. Toothpick there. Used the gray also across his body to get rid of that Decepticon symbol, since this is a minion of the Quintessons and not really a Decepticon. I absolutely dig it. You know, I put purple fists on him. I even made his little claws blue. I think it's about as good as I'm going to get. I even put purple on his thighs here. I think it's about as good as I'm going to get with this guy, and I'm quite happy with it. I'm going to show you him as well in his alt mode so you can see how that worked out. And here he is, as an adorable, vicious little shark with legs and arms. Now, I know what you're thinking. A lot of people would say, why wouldn't you just get the Japanese version? Well, I like the eyes on this one better. And, you know, to be fair, I like the blue arms better, and the blue fin better, and the blue tail better. I like that contrast better. So that's kind of why I would stick with this guy. That being said, I think the gray does help here with the legs. The fists do stand out a little bit more. I kind of dug them gray, but to be accurate, I did change them. When I changed it on one, I said, hey, I might as well change it on the 3 that I have, because since doing the review, I have picked up 2 more. My trio is now complete. And of course, I've done those little toes. If the guy was a 9.25, like I said, 9.75, I think that it helped him. You know, I enjoy doing this stuff. I really do. I get a real charge out of it. And I'm so very happy when it works out well, like it did with these guys. I would bring in my Jazz, but if you can believe this, just after I shot the the custom, I broke off his arm, and the plastic sheared. The plastic sheared off after 5 years. The plastic sheared off. Something to note if you're thinking about getting this Jazz. Will I replace him with this Jazz, or will I replace him with the Classics Jazz? I don't know. I guess we'll see what comes down the pike and comes to me first. Not gonna lie though, I'd be interested to check out that Classics Jazz. But I know right now that if I do replace it with that one, man, I'm gonna be disappointed in those door wings. We'll see. It's one that I've never had. Anyway, like I said, all of these guys, their scores were improved, you know, I guess except for Jazz. What a shame. I appreciate you stopping by, giving me some of your time. Let me know what you think of the work I did here. And I really look forward to the next time that you and I get together for another visit right here inside the videos.